Hi, I'm Simon Pegg.
And I'm Nick Frost.
And we are recommending that you go and see Hot Fuzz. Because it will blow your mind.
What a romp.
Their last film, Shaun of the Dead, grossed more than £40 million. Not bad for a relatively low-budget movie. The critics loved it, as did the fans. So there's a lot riding on this one. But already there's good word of mouth for Hot Fuzz, which pays homage to the Hollywood buddy cop movie, although it's set in Somerset.
Morning, the swans escaped.
The swans escaped.
Can you describe it to me?
About 2 foot tall.
Yep.
Long, slender neck.
That's just going to scare it.
It's an evolution from Shaun of the Dead. We wanted to do something. We didn't just want to rest on our laurels and do the same thing again, like, you know, well, that works, so let's do it again. We wanted to do something that was more sophisticated and grander and bigger and more grown-up in a way.
You've been making us all look bad.
There's one thing you haven't taken into account, and that's what the team is going to make of this.
He's moral. He's not a fascist. He's kind of like, he's quite liberal, but he's, you know, super politically correct. He's everything you want a police officer to be. But his arrest record is so much higher than everyone else's down there that they decide, because he's making everyone else look a bit bad, they send him away to a sleepy little village where he meets Nick's character.
Through the gardens. What's the matter, Danny? You never taken a shortcut before?
Anyone who's seen Shaun of the Dead and knows it well will know that in Shaun of the Dead I fall over the fence. I'm more cocky, and so in Hot Fuzz we do the same setup line, but you know, you get the difference whereby I vault every single one very acrobatically, and then Nick doesn't even get over it, he just goes straight through it, and that was a kind of like pan-cinematic gag, I'll call that. And Nick on the day went over every single one of those fences. The last one he kind of gave up on and ran off, didn't you, which is funny.
Yeah.
But it was a boiling hot day. And the sound that you hear on that is entirely dubbed because you could just hear the crew really laughing all the way through that on both takes.
That's a joke that works in any country in the world who's done the science.
Yeah.
A big guy falling through a fence they love it anywhere you go.
We kind of had this thing that a lot of the films that we were appealing to in our minds were the kind of late 80s, early 90s action films. And there was a particular strand of them in films like, even in films like Beverly Hills Cop, which is essentially a comedy, and The Last Boy Scout and the Lethal Weapon series. They're actually pretty violent. You know, Die Hard, you have exploding kneecaps in that film, you know. It's really quite nasty, and he loves that stuff. But we thought, you know, let's have a little bit of that in that. And also to please our fans from Shaun of the Dead, who, of course, love a bit of gore.
But in a place where nothing bad happens.
What's this? Ta-da!
Kind of the Shaun of the Dead thing, which we kind of remembered every day we were making it, is like the tension has to be tense, and the comedy has to be funny, and the gore needs to be horrific. You know, that you need to be honest in those things, otherwise you're not going to appeal to anyone. You know what I mean? Everyone will see through it.
Things are about to get very bad.
3 people have died in a week.
Accidents happen all the time. What makes you think it was murder?
Gunfights, car chases. That's what I'm talking about.
What we really wanted to do was make a film that started out as being something very British, but then gradually, almost against its will, becomes something really Hollywood, you know.
Have you ever wondered why the crime rate is so low, and yet the accident rate is so high?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to bust this thing wide open.
Because simply by taking the kind of, you know, two-handed diving through the air gun action away from where you usually see it and putting it in Somerset, that is, immediately you have a joke there, you know. We don't get to make that many films here, you know, and a lot of what we see comes from overseas. This is, not only is it from here, but it's also as big and as exciting as anything you'd see from overseas. And it's lots of fun, it's very funny, it's very exciting, and a very crisp 2 hours long. It's incredibly value for money.
It doesn't lag.
Didn't feel like 2 hours.
We wanted to make it, we'd set out to make it 2 hours. We thought, let's make a 2 hour movie, because when I was a kid, that was always like, films were 2 hours, that's what I thought. And so Edgar and I thought it would be fun, because Shaun was only 100 and 20 minutes long. It's like an hour and a half. That's 2 hours.
No, that's
isn't
2 hours. It was 97
It was 95 minutes long. Yeah, 97. Whereas we thought 120 minutes would be a great length. And Edgar managed it. I don't know how.
When the DVD comes out, you watch it for an hour. The Chinese will arrive, pause it, enjoy your tea, watch the other hour.
There you go.
That's how I work it in my house.
I thought you meant the nation.
The nation arrives. I'm going to need a bigger house. I'm going to have to move.
Here come the Fuzz. You've got to call the Fuzz.
What else you got? And have you particularly thought what genre next?
Well, we're doing something together.
Which has a slight sci-fi
edge, but it's not.
I like that.
Not in the same way as being like we're not gonna. It's not. I mean, these films aren't spoofs. They're kind of like affectionate rather than spoofy. I don't know what in terms of what me and Edgar write next for the three of us. I don't know if we will do another genre. I mean, I suppose thinking about it, it would be good to do say 3 kind of films where we take a specific thing and put it in a British setting. But maybe that joke's running a little thin now. I think maybe we're going to sit down and talk about it and. We just want to keep making films. We want to keep making them here, in the UK. It'd be nice to come out to Scotland and make a film, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Bring the noise.
That was brilliant.
Go and see it. It's going to be great.